up, y'all? How you doing? It's Trevon here, aka Phantom Sage, as you guys know me by in the SoundCloud community. Um, Today, I'm here to talk to you about why I would like to be a SoundCloud hero. Well, really, man, there are a lot of reasons why I would like to be a SoundCloud hero. Um, for starters, I originally found out about SoundCloud through a friend of mine who was a fellow artist, and I say was because he passed away a couple of months ago. And when he first told me about it, he was telling me how that you can upload music on there, And anytime I ever hear that, I'm like, I don't know about that, because I just don't want my music to get stolen. And the thing that he was explaining to me was that with SoundCloud, you don't really have to worry about that because, you have basic protection on there. You pretty much choose which type of protection you want. So that was the first thing that drew me to SoundCloud. And also, man, just the network is great. The network is really great. I love it. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into some of these questions. 3 words that best describe you. What would they be? If I had to choose only 3 words to describe myself, the first would probably have to be passionate. And I choose passionate because whether you know me personally or if you're just around me, for a little bit of time, one thing you'll realize is that when it comes down to music, I sort of get lost in my own world. And for those of you who out there, you also are musicians, you know what I'm talking about. You get so caught up in your music that 3-4 hours will pass by and you won't even realize it. And a lot of times you'll be in the middle of making a song, and then all of a sudden you'll have an epiphany and you start making something else. And so I'm definitely passionate about my music. I'm one of those artists who, when I start on something, a lot of times I won't stop until either it's finished or until I know I just need to go to sleep, because if I stay up any longer, I'm only going to make it worse. So that's why I would call myself passionate. I really care about the music, and just music in general I care about. So that's the first word I would choose. The second word I would choose for myself, let's see. Second word I had to choose for myself is adaptive or adaptable, whichever one you'd like to choose. I choose adaptable because, man, in order to be a musician, you have to be. You just have to be if you really want to succeed. And perfect example. See my keyboard right here, and as you can see, man, it's up under it. It's not a keyboard stand. It's just a tray. Like, you do what you can in order to make your music, even if that means that you just have to sort of, make some concoction or just throw some stuff together. And that to me, that's a true artist. It doesn't matter the conditions, you're still going to try to do what you love to do. So like I said, I got a tray here, man. And before I was even using the keyboard, I was I still sort of use programs, but I was really using FL Studios, and I got one of my buddies. He helped me with that, and before I was using that, I was using Reason. I didn't necessarily care for Reason just because it wasn't for me. It's just a completely different layout. And before that, I was using just anything, man. I say anything, I mean anything. Like, I would use programs with just samples, and I cut samples up into little itty bitty pieces because I can hear certain things in pieces of music, and I knew what I wanted to extract from it, and I put it together and just basically make my own songs out of it, and it would sound nothing like the original. And even back to back when I had my PlayStation 2, like just having beat making games on there and making stuff, just however you can perfect your craft, really. That's what I was doing. And for my third word, I would have to choose innovative. I definitely have to choose innovative. And I would choose that because I don't like hearing the same things over and over, And that's with anything, whether it's with music or with anything else like cars or, and just anything, really. Like, a lot of times you'll hear people nowadays who they do a lot of sampling, a whole lot of sampling of music. And the bad part is, a lot of times they really don't change the beat up too much when they do sample. And so basically you end up with the same song that just sounds a little bit different. And that's one thing I do not like. I mean, it's one thing, if you're going to remix a song, actually remix it, make it your own song. But to just bum off of somebody else's song, that's not cool. Like, I feel like if I'm going to make something, why not make something, make it mine. Like, you start looking back at history and looking at the genres that we have today in music, man, just like look at hip hop, for example. When hip hop first started, nobody knew what it was, and eventually they gave it a name because it got to the point where when people heard it, they didn't know what to call it, so they were like, they had to give it a new genre just to be able to give it a name. And that's the same thing with, like, if you look at just something simple as like pop back in the 90s, back when Michael Jackson was pop king, and you look at how pop used to be then compared to how pop is now. It's two completely different things. They're still in the same category, but they're two completely different things. Some artists, they got on it and they just took it their own way, which is cool. I don't have any problems with that. So that's why I would call myself innovative, because I definitely, like I said, I like to make things unique. And if you do listen to any of my music, whether it's like my love stuff, or if you listen to my hip hop, people in the past who've listened to it, they've given me feedback, and they're like, man, that's different. Like, but I like it though. I haven't heard anything like that. I can tell it's hip hop, but it doesn't sound like the hip hop that's on the radio. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what I was going for, because I like to change things up. So I definitely think I have something to offer to the music industry. Alright, the next question. How do you use SoundCloud, and why do you love it? Man, I use SoundCloud for a number of reasons, really. First reason is obviously to upload my music. I'm still a little bit skeptical about uploading, just because I don't want to put the best of the best, up there. That's just me being cautious. Nothing more. I do trust SoundCloud because they are definitely a good website, a good tool, as my friend said. And they don't try to, take advantage of anything like that. So it's definitely a good thing about it. But I have to say, my number one reason is upload music. And then another reason that I use and love SoundCloud is because the network, man. You have so many people on SoundCloud, and it's not just within your local area. It's global. It is all around the world. There are not too many other music websites that somebody in Berlin and hook up with somebody in Nigeria, or somebody in the U.S., hook up with someone in India. There's not too many other websites that you can do that with. Not secure ones, at least. Excuse me. And so that's a really good thing. And whether it's you guys getting up doing a collaboration, or if you're just listening to music, or somebody else wants to hear your stuff, and then after they hear it, they can give you a little bit of feedback, because you never know who's listening. Maybe it's just somebody who's just getting started in music, and they're trying to get some pointers, and they're trying to listen to your music to see how it's structured. Or if your music is up, and then some producer is listening to it, and they're like, hey, this is really good, but you might want to go in here to this bar and just change how you do your hi-hats a little bit, make them double time, or just something simple. A lot of times friendly advice like that, you can pick and choose, but friendly advice, it definitely helps. Constructive criticism. And man, I'll tell you, there have been some people on here who've definitely helped me. And I'm actually somebody on here, he's actually trying to use one of my beats for his album. So that's another thing. Like I said, you never know who's on there, man. And it depending on how active you are in the community of SoundCloud, it can take you places. It can, it can really help you get off the ground. So that's definitely a reason why I love SoundCloud. Another thing is, like I said, with the getting you off the ground, for me, it's been a little difficult to really get myself started as an artist, and a lot of that comes from life issues that I have had going on in the past and stuff, and, family and just everything. But I feel like SoundCloud is sort of that stepping stone for me. It's sort of like a middleman. Like back in the day, everybody used to. And the only way to really get recognition is to go out and play a concert at some club or something like that, and then hopefully somebody's there that's gonna like what you're playing, or sending your tapes to the studios until you get lucky enough that somebody listens to it and likes it. But now a lot of what happens is you have to be very creative, and you have to network. The internet plays a big part in the music industry now, so SoundCloud definitely helps you with reaching out to other people, and that's one thing that I love about it. The next thing is, what do you love about your city? Well, this might sound a little cheesy to some of you guys out there, but I love most everything about my city, really. I take pride in where I come from, and it's probably because of the fact that I'm from the South, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So, I'm pretty far down here. But, yeah. Man, we have a lot of talented artists here.